Hello everyone, this is Allegedly Caleb, and I am going to be giving you a tour and overview of the game Second Front, which is a tactical World War II strategy game. Essentially, what you're doing is you are controlling individual tanks, individual squads of infantry, different types of guns, all to try and accomplish certain objectives. If you've heard of Advanced Squad Leader, it is very similar to that game, and at the same time, it's also very similar to the squads based game that WDS or Wargame Design Studios has. I'd say it's more similar to Advanced Squad Leader than the other squad based game that Advanced Squad Leader had, or that WDS has. But if you're interested in both, I would definitely take this game for a test drive. Now, there's a bunch of interesting aspects of it that I will start off showing. So we're going to go ahead, and they have a bunch of tutorial missions, and these are pretty good for learning the aspects of the game. But let's go ahead and just jump into a game, and I'll show you kind of how it works. So this is one of the first scenarios you have access to as when you first get the game. So in this scenario, you are Germans, and you are trying to capture 3 victory points of the Soviets, the Pskov factories. It's very early on in 1941, so you can expect that the Soviet infantry is not going to be very strong, and your infantry, on the other hand, will be very, very strong. So when I first played this scenario, this took quite a long time for me to actually master and get used to the mechanics. So, first of all, there are 4 stages in each turn. So you have the move and fire phase, where you can move your units. So for example, you can see here, let's just move these guys. You can run them, or you can like advance at like a pace with them, or you can sprint with them. See the red guy running? That's like them sprinting. Now, if you do this, you have to be careful, because the enemy can fire at you with Overwatch, where essentially if they catch you running out, especially if you're out running in the open, they'll shoot at you. All of the calculations are done with hidden dice rolls, essentially. So you have moving and fire phase. So in this, if you can choose whether you want to move or fire with your units as this point in the phase. And then you have the fire phase, where the enemy will fire at you. Escape phase, that's if you have broken units. So if your units get fired at and the enemy passes a certain dice roll, then your units will get broken. So essentially, if their morale level is breached, those units will get broken. And then you have the advanced phase, which is essentially, it allows your infantry to advance 1 hex in any direction in almost any instance. So then it switches over to the defender's turn. Most of the time it goes attacker then defender, and then the defender will get the opportunity to do all 4 stages itself. All 4 stages on its own again. So you can see the graphics are pretty nice too. It doesn't aim to be super realistic, although the models of the weapons and the tanks are very, very realistic in terms of all their details, which I'll show you. There's actually a place you can admire them. But overall, it is a fairly fun game. So I'm going to skip out of this. Okay, I have to wait for them to be done. Okay, let's resign. So right now there's 4 factions. You have the Germans, you have the Russians, the Americans, and the Commonwealth. So the Germans, obviously you have missions that play against the Russians, play against the Americans, and play against the Commonwealth. It's the Russians, Americans, and Commonwealth. You're only fighting against the Germans to start. They do have plans to release other Axis nations, like the Italians, Hungarians, Romanians, etc., and other allied nations. Poland, Belgium, France, Netherlands, give or take more nations. The Japanese, the Pacific theater is something they want to get into. But for now, this is what we have, and there's a bunch of scenarios. So these are all the different types of scenarios. You'll initially just start with 2, and as you beat them, you'll unlock more. So look at all these. The Commonwealth was released pretty recently, so they don't have all their scenarios out quite yet. So we'll take a look at a couple of these in a little bit. But look at this. This is what? That's 12 scenarios, 24 scenarios. That's 14, so 24, 38 scenarios, 50 scenarios, 60 scenarios, and then against the Commonwealth, 67 total scenarios. And that's just the standalone scenarios. There are also campaigns where your units will essentially be carried throughout the campaign. So if you lose a unit, then that unit has a chance of not being in your next campaign, depending on if they were replaced or not. Those units can also come in at better or worse quality than the unit you lost, and your units themselves can be better or worse quality depending on how they did in the battle. If they were broken, if they were ELR'd, all these different things. So you can see there's so much content for this game already, and your mind's about to be blown. There is even more. So there's a workshop. It was working earlier. Let me check. Yeah, it was working earlier. I'll show you the workshop just on Steam. So, you got your workshop. And look at this. Look how many scenarios there are. Each of these pages, here, let me go back actually. 881 items. That's over 800 user-made scenarios. Now, a lot of these are taken from games like Advanced Squad Leader. So a lot of these scenarios you'll get from there. Now let's take a look at some of the most subscribed. Kelly's Heroes. Tiger. Initially, you get those cool units to fight against tigers. So all sorts of interesting scenarios. Now let's take a look at the garage. This is where you can look at the unit models. You can also look at them in the game. You can zoom in all the way down to the individual models. But I do want to show this because this will show how much detail is put into this game. So you've got your tanks, your assault vehicles, you've got your half tracks, your recon vehicles, your trucks, your guns, which come from anti-tank guns, flak guns, and mortars, even more to come. So let's take a look at one. Let's go all the way to the back to the coolest ones. Look at this guy. That's what it does if it fires. That's this guy moving around. You got him with them buttoned up and not buttoned up. You got the turret rotation. You got it rotating. You got infantry on the back. You got the tank moving around. Isn't that just so cool? And then you got information about it. And then you got the whole unit card as well. So, and they have these for pretty much everything. All of the different vehicles in the game. Yeah, so I love taking a look through all of these. You got your anti-tank and assault vehicles, the Yeah, I get Panzer 6. Look at that big guy. Then you got the British, the Brits. Take a look at their end game. The Achilles, the Crocodile, the Churchill 6, Churchill 5. And a bunch of different types of Churchill. Valentines. Matildas. Ooh, look at that little guy. Comets. Challengers. Cromwells. So on and so forth. Bishops. Priests. Sextons. Stuarts. And you got the Russians. Ooh, we gotta take a look at the Russian tanks. You got some of their Lend-Lease tanks. IS-2s. KV-85s. KV-1Ss. KV-2s. Look at that big boy. M42s. I don't even remember what that one was. Oh, KV-1 M42. Okay. KV-1 M41. So those are the years. 41 version, 42 version. KV-1E, T-35. Look at that chunky battle. Look at that battleship tank. Oh, so cool. Old KV-1s, T-34-85s, 43s, KV-8s. This looks like one of the mid-year. Oh no, that's one of the early war T-34s. Like, there's so many different types of tanks. And then you got the Americans. They got their tank destroyers, which are the ones that they would use to engage other tanks if they were able to control it. You even got the perishing M26. Got some flame tanks, 105. Shermans, 76, 75. No, that's 76 too. All of these different tanks. So I just love looking at all of these. Oh, it's so fun. So you can even create scenarios as well. Yeah, there's a whole manual the game comes with. There you go. It's just a little blip of it. Here's their introduction if you want to read it. Anyway, go ahead and pause that there if you want to read a little bit more about the game. But yeah, this game is gorgeous. It's fun. Yeah, all the scenarios are so different. The campaigns are fun to play. I highly, highly recommend it. And it's not super expensive. So you can get it at a pretty fair price, especially because it goes on sale sometimes. So it is on Steam, so keep an eye out for it on Steam, and you'll be seeing a playthrough video of this game shortly. I think this will really be something that everyone on my channel will enjoy watching. So anyway, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this overview. Thanks for watching. If you want me to play this game, like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.